Hey everybody, this is Darksied, and welcome to part 1 of the Dark Souls Prepare to Die editions. Okay, now what I'm doing here is I'm heading actually to the entrance to the new content. And how you do this really is, it's quite simple. You do have to be at a point in the game where you've already gotten the Lord Vessel and placed it, so you can get rid of the gold fogs. The second thing that you have to do is you have to have defeated the Hydra, saved, reloaded your game, and then defeated the Golden Golem that was holding Dusk hostage. Third thing, you have to go to the Duke's Archives, and in the very beginning there will be a new Blue Golem which you'll have to kill for a pendant. Afterwards, you come back out to this very spot here where you fought the Golem before, and you'll find this iris. Feel free to examine it and take a trip. Strange looking iris though. Does looks like an iris with no eye. A big hand with a mouth comes out and grabs you and pulls you in. And welcome to the Sanctuary Garden. Now, this is my first time here, so I have absolutely no idea what I'm about to get myself into. And I'm not entirely sure if that's a good or a bad thing, but we're going to find out here in a moment. Gonna kindle up this bonfire here and get it prepared. Never know what lies at the end of the tunnel. Now, one thing, I was a little amazed whenever I first got in here, because just as soon as you walk to the end of the tunnel, fog door. Okay, fog doors mean one of two things. Either it's just trying to trick you, or it's a boss. Not tricky really, but just walking through it. Most of the time these lead, this early on I would figure, leads to nothing. This one leads to the Sanctuary Guardian. In which, in hindsight, I didn't do bad for my very first attempt not knowing anything that's going on with this guy. And had I actually worked on it a little bit, I think I could have gotten it. I later went on and did this fight over again, and I changed my tactics. I went, as you notice there, I'm actually a strength-based character with very light armor. I'm actually wearing the black leather set, as I recall. And if you look at the damage he's taken, had I just planned this just a little bit, I mean, the second time, I think I would have easily beaten it. But instead I decided to change up, and I went to a more heavy set armor. And I did manage to kill him, although I think it was a lot sloppier than it needed to be. And I really, really, really wish I could have changed how this fight goes. I mean, I wish he would have killed me there, because I think I would have gone back to the light armor. Anyway, this is sloppiness in action, I think. But it does get the job done. As you see there, the armor we're wearing is the black iron set, worn by the indomitable badass Iron Tarkus. You see, I'm not doing well with my dodges like I was the first time. And I think that's just because of the slowness of it. I had played this all the way up to this point using nothing but light armor, and I was really used to it, and the weight of it, how I moved. And whenever I got back into this, I wasn't dodging as quickly as I should have. You got to watch out for the tail, by the way. Poison is not a good effect to have on you while you're fighting a boss fight. Now, his hits aren't doing as much damage because of the armor I'm wearing, sure. But my maneuverability is so compromised. and my timing is just really off. If I would have been able to fight him once or twice more with light armor, I think I would have been able to get him down relatively simple. Anyway, stay away from his back end. If you can, after he does one of those attacks, try to stay on his side. Of course, watch out for flying lightning bolts. That's always a good thing. But you get on his backside and he's going to use that tail. And you see here, I think I'm taking more damage from this poison that he's got on me than anything else. And I've just now got him down to close to the spot where I did have him in the first time. And you've noticed I've already drank 7 health potions. Oh well, it just gives me something to do in the future. I'll have to restart this game once again just so I can fight him once more. That's really the only downside to this, is that not being able to save. You can't, say, create a little section before you actually move on, so you can't get better at any particular boss fight without replaying the game. Anyway, the Sanctuary Guardian's down. I'm really disappointed in how that worked out. But to get rid of this poison, it's time to go back, rest up a little bit, and proceed on. Now, walking into this particular clearing, I'm really impressed on how everything looks. The sounds are good. Everything looks great. But I must admit, I was a little confused whenever I walked through the portal here the first time and got out into the next section. My first impressions was this reminded me greatly of the graveyard right before the catacombs, just off of Firelink. So I'm thinking, okay, we'll just walk around here and collect up what goodies we have. I only found one. I didn't find really anything else over here worth interest, aside from the giant mushroom that's over there getting ready to talk to us in a little bit. But I figured there had to be something in all of this. Turns out, all I could really find was one dead corpse with a humanity on it right over here behind this pole. For some reason, that just screams secret wall to me. I have not found any secret walls yet. Okay, light the bonfire. Now you can see over there to my right is actually the mushroom. And whenever on first approach, you know, I'm used to it being the large mushrooms that hit like a train. And it turns out this one's friendly and wants to talk, and, well, let's face it doesn't even have any arms, or legs for that matter. So I'm looking around for the ambush here, and of course nothing around.
Well, look at this one. From what faraway age hast thou come? Thy scent is very human indeed, but
Mostly.
not intolerable. Ah, Princess Dusk's savior. Thine aura is precisely as she described. I thank thee deeply for rescuing Her Highness. But Princess Dusk is here no longer, snatched away by that horrifying primeval human. And so I must ask, couldst thou once more play the savior? Thank you.
Yeah, sure, why not?
Guardian.
We're here, we might as well help, right?
Something of a godmother to Princess Dusk. I shall assist thee to my utmost, for I am one with the sorcerers of Oolacile.
Anyway, the mushroom here sells just general items and has a little bit of information, but not a whole lot. Sells a lot of spells. Unfortunately, I'm not exactly a spell user on this one. I don't have any faith and I don't have any magic abilities, so spells were down for me. She does, however, sell a few gold pine resins. Unfortunately, the amount you can get from her is only 5. So if you still want more gold pine resin, chances are you're probably going to have to go back to Darkroot Garden and farm the large mushrooms walking
Thou
around.
shalt see further on, an abyss was begat of the ancient beast, and threatens to swallow the whole of Oolacile. Knight Artorius came to stop this, but such a hero has nary a murmur of dark. Without doubt he will be swallowed by the abyss, overcome by its utter blackness. Indeed, the abyss may be unstoppable. Still, I have faith that Princess Dusk may be rescued yet.
Well, we'll do our best.
May the flames guide thee.
Alright. I think it's about time we leave this sanctuary and figure out where we're at, what we're up against. And I immediately get out here, and of course this is, I guess, the bridge that led to Sif before. Right out there is where Artorius' grave would have been. So this area is mostly just a reskinned version of Darkroot. Not exactly, because there are some changes to it for sure. Welcome to the Royal Wood. I'm guessing that these guys are supposed to be precursors to the tree people. Just in this one, they happen to be a little more organized. They use giant scissors, and they wear clothing. So maybe the versions that we have in our real time are supposed to be primal versions of these guys. Now be careful out here. Those people I just killed are really the very least of the threat that's roaming around in this place. This place has got some really nasty critters, and they come in packs. And here's one of them now. I'm guessing that these guys are called Guardians, mainly because I've been picking up some of the armor around the area, and it's called Guardian armor. As you can tell here, it seems that the heavy armor is really more of a hindrance to me at this point. I'm not able to dodge, although these guys hit like trucks. And they're fairly quick too. So for somebody strength-based, it's actually rather hard to get in here and do a good melee with them, just mainly because they're so damn fast and they really hit very, very hard. I don't know if they hit quite as hard as the big mushroom people, but that attack there he does whenever he pulls out the hammer, it's just devastating. As you notice there, I got hit by it twice, and I'm running for cover because I just can't take it anymore. Anyway, I'm going to have to come up with some sort of a better attack plan for these guys, because he's about to do that thing again. So even whenever it looks like he's down, he is by certainly no means out. So I later started having to revise this, and I'm starting to work with a little bit of a distance attack in here as well, especially with these guys. It might be a little too cautious, and I'm sure that there's an easier way of beating them, but for my first time through, I thought this was a viable option. I'm going to try a little flame this time. Come on back over here, guy. Alright, we finished taking him out. Looks like we'd already done pretty good damage to him. Although, you notice that Guardian armor, I mean, I'm hitting the guys around him for 500 plus on a good thrust. And those guys, I maybe get 200 out of it. That armor is really quite impressive. I've actually looked at it a little bit. It has very high resistance values and armor values. Problem is that it's even heavier than the stone armor, which just takes it right off the... I personally couldn't use it. It's right off the shelf for me. Now you may be asking yourselves why exactly I'm not being able to use Iron Tarkus's armor here and still be able to have all the benefits of being able to move around like a person wearing light armor, and there's a reason for this. They've changed the way that the Darkwood grain ring works. They've actually limited it down to that you have to be under a quarter of your maximum load in order for it to function as the Ninja Flip Ring, which pretty much makes it absolutely useless because you get just as good dodging abilities under a quarter as you would have without the ring anyway. The rolling action is different, yes, but it's just as fast. And there's no way for you to wear heavy armor these days and be able to get that. So if you want it, you're going to have to wear light armor, which pretty much makes it pointless. This is going to change a lot of the way that these people PvP, I can tell you that. Heck, it changed the way I play the game. So now we're going to go a little more off of skill, I think, and less off of using items to make it to where I can flip and roll. Now, as I said, these changes aren't live in the other game yet. So far, these have only been made for the PC edition. So those of you who are still using your Ninja Flip Rings now, you better get done what you want with it, because just as soon as they patch this thing, whenever they start releasing the DLC, it's going to be bad for everybody, I think. Well, those who have used it. Alright, as you see, we're kind of cautiously working our way through this. I know that right over there, since this is pretty much the Darkroot Garden, right over there is going to be the tower where the Forest Bros guys go. So I'm trying to slowly work my way over there and kill these guys, take them out. But as you see, as I said, they come in packs. And you can see I definitely stocked up on arrows before I go. I did some farming specifically for souls for arrows. For one, I wasn't entirely for sure if I was going to be able to get out of here once I had come in. And yes, the answer to that question is you can leave at will. They've also added several more warp locations than what was previously available. A few to note that I personally liked was they have a warp location in the depths now, so I can get back to the bonfire I primarily use to farm humanity and large titanite shards. And they also added one at the fire right above Andre. So now I can farm those shards and get back to Andre without having to cross that whole way. You see here I'm doing badly again. Run away! Run away! These guys really are quite tough compared to some of the other mobs in the game. And of course you've got the warp points for some of the areas in here so far. Which is good, but don't feel like you're going to get trapped here. You're not. You can leave and come anytime you'd like. I will not fall for your tricks, sir. These guys drop the moss clumps just like they used to, or just like their primal versions do. That's what's good about a headshot. If you can get a headshot and you can keep arrows flowing to the head, you can usually stagger them and kill them. Alright, watch how this guy runs away from us. This is an ambush. Anytime you have anything run away from you, it's never good for you. Good thing is that most ambushes can usually be avoided if you play it smart and just try to work it from a different angle. Like this guy here, I was able to pull him and get him away. And you'll notice here that I'm getting ready to start working on the guy that just ran off. And since these guys do kind of come in packs, he reveals the ambush and wait. Also notice here that I am using poison arrows at the moment. I'm going to later switch over to the fire arrows that I brought. But these guys, as near as I can tell, are completely immune to poison. Probably a side benefit of dropping moss clumps, I think. But that includes the guardians. I have purposefully tried, as you can see here, I have tried to get them poisoned to find out if I can get some sort of a lingering dot effect on them. Wait a minute, the trees aren't. The guardians most certainly are, however. They're the ones I'm more worried about anyway. Well, it's a good thing he died right there. I was about to have a button malfunction. I think I just about walked off the edge there, so that was a good save. Problem is that I do that almost again. Luckily, however, I don't manage to fall off. It's that rock there. It's either go this way or that way, and I keep going the same way, and it's right off a cliff, buddy. Now you notice he walks back from this point. Don't count on that, however, especially if you start getting him with good arrow shots, because as long as you keep arrows flying at him and hitting him, he can run across the entire map. See, I was really trying very hard to poison him here, and it's just not going to work. So this time I got wise and I went around the rock in a different way. Wait till he does his little attack there, and then you get at least a free arrow on him, which will keep him moving. And it's a good thing, too, that he's just about dead here, because right whenever I kill him, I am really running out of room. So I was trying not to get too far away. But yeah, there was the edge right there. So I was going to fall off had that battle lasted too much longer. You see, there's our ambush field. Don't know if this is exactly the point we came in on. No, it wasn't, because there's a guy down there. There's another section to it, but this is still leading into the same area. I didn't realize that raking leaves was actually an attack, but apparently to these guys it is. I do manage to get one of those forks, though. It's quite possible while I was going through this I managed to get a pair of scissors too, but I haven't actually looked yet, so... maybe not on that one. Yes, come down here. I know you want to attack me. That was part of the other ambush party, I'm sure of it. Body over here, most likely with another piece of that armor. And it just hit me right whenever I got here that I realized where I am, and this is actually where the cats were whenever you were coming up this way to go fight Sif. And that will conclude this section of Darksiders Prepare to Die Edition Extras. Remember, if you like these videos, please click the like button. If you'd like to see more, click subscribe. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.